the 23rd, which is only 6 days ago. We don't know if they've been practicing before that, but that should be pointed out as well, that Mousesports does have a new player as well. Indy has
Man who named himself after a hybrid car, Prius, will be observing this match. Sorry to interrupt you, Robin. Oh, there's that GoTV bug where you throw a grenade in a straight line, but it does a weird zigzags. We used to have that years ago in the old tiny Twitch office at 2 o'clock in the morning. Do you remember those, Dan? Those crazy squiggly lines.
Invisible models and...
yeah. All the GoTV bugs. Well then. Vinny and Honda remain. In terms of, I'm a big fan of FURIA's playstyle, the savage aggression and just the ridiculous from art. And you know, Mousesports have been one of my favorite teams as well. I'm not ready to let go of Chris J just yet. So for me, for emotional reasons, I'm going with FURIA for this map.
Oh wow, okay. And I can see. I think the problem that the FURIA has had, obviously, like finding with having the stand in Honda, kind of knowing that he's not going to be playing in the team anymore. You know, I feel like they are. I think that the unique playstyle that FURIA has really requires a lot of time and effort to kind of get all the pieces to fit and work in the team. So I'm worried for them, even with Mousesports having the Acor as a new player. I think that Kerrigan does a really good job with his teams, as we've seen again and again. He's probably one of the better ones to build lineups and make them competitive.
Yeah, and as mentioned too before, you know, Honda, somebody that is, you know, pretty new to the FURIA lineup, but you know, Art expressed that they're still kind of figuring it out yesterday in the post-match interview with regards to how do they kind of, I mean, their plan is to have a 6-man roster, but they're still kind of figuring out how the dynamics of that are going to work. So that's good news, at least, because it's not just like he's going to get thrown in there and then thrown away again. It's like there's going to be, the team is invested behind him, and that's really, really good. I do feel like this Mousesports lineup with Acor, I feel like Acor is, you know, he's ready to be like an absolute god tier player, and I feel like he could do it with a team like this with, you know, ropz and Frozen, obviously incredibly good. Kerrigan has been at the top before. So there's a lot to think about, I think, in terms of Mousesports' future. I feel like I'm excited for them.
Yeah, and I think the problem you have with teams like that is, you know, argument between like a primary AWPer versus like a flexible one. And I think for me, at least, Chris J was always like a little bit more of a flexible guy. Obviously picked up the AWP a little bit more. We have to remember I've been competing against Chris J since a long time, so he's come and gone. With we talked a little bit about Twist in NIP doing the same thing, being flexible and stuff like that. I think Acor is a little bit more of, you know, specialized in the AWP. Maybe that's what Mousesports needed. That's an aggressive push though from FURIA. 1 flashbang coming into lobby. It's a 2 versus 2 trade. He's gonna 3v3. There were some saved weapons on FURIA for last round, which is why we have them with a lot of money still to this round and some SMGs and armor. Still gonna be a Mousesports round though, but it was an expensive one at that. Only 2 members live from Mousesports.
I would like to see Oscar get another chance at higher flights, Counter-Strike. I say higher, which is weird. You know, I don't know if like doesn't need to be top flight necessarily. I know he was picked up by a team recently, but stylistically as well, I quite liked watching him play. So I hope he's able to rise through the ranks again, so we can see if he can hold his own against the top flight players out there eventually. And is Acor at the helm for Mousesports now, looking for their 4th round in a row. Kerrigan and Frozen with some entries around the outside. And that leaves 3 for FURIA. A cold start here on NUKE. Sun may be shining, but there might be a breeze caused by Mousesports. Looking to ruffle more heads and feathers now as Kesrato's dropped in heaven. That gives them great position on the A bomb site. No response to any of these kills just yet for FURIA. Vinny remains.
Really nice round here from Mousesports. Putting them to the test already with a very fast, aggressive round outside. It's a heaven split. I think one, was it Honda or Yuri that died on the inner bomb train or bomb site?
I didn't see
one guy
kills,
outside.
but
it was a very dominant round.
First entry, yeah.
And we see more and more teams when we talk about NUKE, especially when we think about rotations from CT side and reads and stuff like that. There are some teams that starts with one guy lower right off the bat, which normally you talk about, you know, where is the weak area then if you start lower, and it would be under heaven. Just to get that in control. Same thing with ramp. We talk about, you know, free space, but ramp has always been a conversation about, you know, what do you actually gain from taking map control, and it's a bit of a useless kind of space, which, you know, CTs can always rotate back down lower and still hold the bomb site. But these under heaven pushes and stuff, Mousesports one of the better teams to do it, and we see it here, saving all 5 members alive. So right round number 5 now, but even looking at economy now, it's in great shape for Mousesports. It's been 4 very dominant rounds.
We know that Art loves these peeks around the squeaky door with the AWP, and he's absolutely going through any smoke that he sees. So that's not going to work out for him. So, you know, I would imagine that Mousesports would be quite familiar with his tendencies, able to catch that action. And something I think that Mousesports could even take from the book of Cloud9 is the way that Cloud9 were trying to play against Art, spamming through the hut towards main, where Art likes to stand at the beginning of the round, just to condition him to not be there at the early timings, or to punish him for being there. And I really like that from Cloud9, and it doesn't cost you anything if you have lobby control to do that.
I actually really like that as well, now that you said it, from C9, because I think it really builds up, especially versus a team like Furia that likes to go through main, as you pointed out, Dan. Because it kind of adds the flexibility of, yeah, we do one time, but then eventually, you know, the inner rush will come or the vent will drop, and by then you don't have a guy in main anymore.
Yeah, and especially too with you know, if teams that kind of start their defaults like more heavy outside, there is that tendency, especially for a team that likes to push, to want to hit that lobby push a lot, and you're going to suggest that there could always be lots of players lobby. A nice defense coming in here from Honda. He's got a good position to possibly get another frag out of this, which he does, and that's the bomb on the ground as well, leaving A-Core alone in a 1 versus 2. Another great spot to be in. He'll swap out the... Oh, that's actually quite smart. Fires the gun, swaps out for the AK in case someone will try to punish him with a swing. But he'll go down. So, oh, what a great recovery. It really looks very much like a Mousesports round, but especially after what Art walked past the smoke and just died instantly right at the start of the round. So... nice recovery from Furia.
That was from just one saved AWP as well, right?
I think they had a couple. Oh, the gun.
Art picked up the 3 kill with AWP that Art ended up dying from. But you might be right here, Dan. But yeah, that was a solid round from Furia. Probably around, we can talk about probably they shouldn't have won. But it's just a day and age in CSGO. These smokes also something that Mousesports I feel like to use a lot. There's multiple sets of smokes you can throw outside. These are pretty common. Gets the CTs guessing exactly what happens here as well. I mean, Kerrigan, what a nice round again. I feel like he's just continuously, you know, impresses.
Alrighty there.
He does this again and again, you know, just create space. We saw that, you know, it's starting to come back to me now as well. Obviously, we did see these guys a few days ago down because Kerrigan was doing the same kind of shenanigans. And I think he's getting, you know, we talk about it, I think he started the process. He's always been a little bit more of an entry fragger kind of in-game leader, but I think the way that he's doing his kind of entry fragging in-game leading now is a little bit different. It's less, you know, rushing in your face. It's more like, you know, let's work on rotates and let's try a little bit sneaky at the same time. And I think Kerrigan is just a really smart player, and he gets away with it a lot, I've noticed.
Well, I want to know how CeRq died, because he died to ropz pushing lobby because he reacted, I guess, obviously to that heavy outside presence. ropz was left in lobby, but it kind of felt like CeRq pushed by himself, which is less forgivable than if it was like a take with a teammate or two or something.
Yeah, and that's something we talked about as well this week about, you know, the new changes in NUKE was one of the 30 HP took. So one of the most played maps, if not the most played map in 2020, and we kind of see the meta change a little bit when we talk about, you know, taking yard control. You tend to leave just one guy outside. It's an aggressive push here, but we see the tendency of like people kind of opting against that now more and more. And if they do leave people in lobby, they tend to be 2, because since we obviously know the CTs like to push there.
Oh my god, he's been on a deathmatch. Holy potatoes. Well, this is looking devastatingly bad for Furia very early on here on NUKE. If they were to get wiped out on this round, I'm almost ready to write off the map, and that's not something I normally do. Really need to see something from them here. 4-on-4. Carrigan smells blood in the water. And he's looking for more flesh now as he creeps towards hell. 1 minute on the clock.
Do we do any predictions here?
I said
We
Furia
didn't,
for
but
map 1.
Mousesports for me, all the way.
Okay.
Oh, that's easy now, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's keep track of Dan here, you know? He's gone back on his word a few times. Wants to do the swap of the gun there. Only kills Kerrigan. We know that Mousesports have 2 more members there. Acre holding the flank for a little bit. As they make their way down to lower. And as we see on the minimap, Art is there. Looks like he's behind a silo. Lower, so if they do end up going down there, but actually going to opt to go up in heaven instead. I actually think this is a good call. Would have hoped for like an exfil flash or something from CT.
Oh, beautiful.
There, but yeah, then you have Acor doing rounds like that instead. Gets a nice 3 kill at that. Reads the play from Art there at the end as well. Dominant round again from Mousesports. Slows down the pace once they get the initial kill onto Honda outside. Walks their way under a catwalk. Slows it down again. I think maybe they just went down to shoot one bullet down lower and then went up.
Oh, he's so good. I like how just directed the Mousesports approaches as well. Like it's pretty clear what they're trying to do. They don't really waste any time doing it. It feels like, you know, they've really trimmed the fat in that sense.
Yeah, I think they found like the whole coming into this, you know, the read of, you know, how do we approach Furia on Nuke, and it's been a lot of abuse for outside, especially under heaven. And we know though Furia might not have the strength on the CT side, but they're a good T side of team. But to James's point, they get the time where there's just too many T rounds on a map like Nuke.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like anything is really going for Furia at all at the moment.
Six to 1. Yeah, they don't have any momentum here. It's like it's so difficult.
Yeah, I think the problem that Furia has here as well, of, you know, when you talk about, you know, the approach, and we haven't seen Mousesports gone down at all. So you make the argument of like, why are we putting someone down there? And I'm not saying that Furia has, but normally we make these discussions and conversations, you kind of talk about like where's the approach, right? And I would love to see, obviously we know that it's an eco from Furia here, but I would love to see them kind of putting a little bit more emphasis maybe on, don't have to go aggressive, but maybe a little bit more on yard here now. Have a bit of a cheeky round, maybe even if they come in, maybe have like a nice retake. Oh, there we go. Okay.
I was a little confused. I could hear a butterfly knife, but I was seeing an M9. I was like, what's going on here? But I think we were on the replay deck for a while, I'm assuming.
Well, we have weapon round, so maybe we'll see it this round instead. And I like this Honda with an AUG, Art with an AWP. We'll see if they choose to do something different. We did see Art try and go aggressive outside the 1 round on T-Red. Didn't get any payout for it, but won't see the same thing here. And let's pay attention to what I was talking about. No one from Furia is currently lower. We have 2 guys outside, so I really like this from Furia. We saw it again a few rounds ago, but Kerrigan was really sneaky there, getting 2 kills. Bit of a different approach here from Furia with 2 guys around the garage area instead. Oh, okay. I thought it was a flick on Frost now. It's just like...
Oh, okay. That sound is a little ahead.
It's a good start here though for Furia if we compare it to other rounds. Really what I want to see, you know, defensive setups. Well, we know, you know, we've seen at least the tendencies from Mousesports so far this half. Obviously they could have swapped, but I think maybe we'll see that for next round here now when Furia we've seen have kind of answered to Mousesports shenanigans for outside. We tend to see the T, it's not kind of swapping. Either maybe a fast ramp play or, you know, a lobby default or, you know, an inner rush down to vents, for example, just to, again, kind of force Furia now to start playing 1 guy lower. And that's when you kind of get back to being able to play outside a little bit more with yard and only having to focus on, for example, the 1 person rather than 2.
Danger is losing a round right afterward for Furia. So let's see if we get some more of the same from Mousesports. Looks like we will. Aiko going pretty fast outside, actually. He's been opening the door in many of these rounds of the AWP. Ooh, big miss from Art, and that's going to be an opportunity for Carrigan, which he'll take, and he drops straight down to main as well, keeping the pressure on. Nice kills coming in, though, from Furia in response, and that will help them to pull ahead just for a moment. Although when the trades are said and done, it will be a 2v2. Lots of time left, and there's a lot of holes on the map for ropz to creep through. Oh, Vinny might find ropz, however. The meeting of the minds here, perhaps. Doesn't want to go too deep, which I think that's a smart choice.
Do they know that they have the bomb down?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because we still see Honda kind of holding that angle from Raj, and Vinny's might be peeking here as well. Know that BMUS is low on 25 HP, and the timing here is unbelievable. Honda gets spotted from underneath heaven, only leaving Vinny now in a one-on-one situation. Both members here are low. 36 on Vinny and 25 on BMUS. Gets the bomb here as well. Looks like he'll be making his way lower. Who gets it? Who wins
the round?
Making bets, yeah.
I think that Bemis will probably win the round. I think he doesn't know how much time he has for post-pump. Well, he'll know now because he can hear the running. So that's really key information to help him know how, like, where he can go for it to like make this work out. But maybe he wasn't super clued into that because it seems like the way that he peeked that, he wasn't quite sure that Vinny would be around the corner. So
Vinny had the fake HE, man. He HE'd on short. I think he blew away the door there as well. Yeah, the door is no longer there. Forces BMUS to kind of focus on that. Yeah, smart round by Vinny. The one nade makes a difference.
That's the consecutive round that was needed.
Definitely needed. Only keeping Vinny alive though, so it's still a very good buy here. But yeah, keeping their economy in check. And as we pointed out, Mousesports was just a very dominant early lead here on this T side of theirs. So still have a lot of money. Can afford themselves one more buy after this one if they end up losing this one. AWP on A-Core. A strong buy for both teams. We do see the swap here from Mousesports. Been focusing a lot for outside. It's a lobby default here instead.
I think they had a molly for heaven as well. Forcing Yuri onto the low ground. You can see him jiggling with some elevation. Always nice if you can change your height with a jiggle. Make things even more difficult. Starting to wonder now. Carrigan will punish him for his curiosity. I think he'll spot 2 of the final 3 players as well. You can see the communication through the crosshair of ropz. Looking up top. Had a slight check of hell as well, but Honda didn't choose to peek. And again, Mousesports have time to use as they maneuver with their man advantage. There are sound cues to be heard from CT Vent though above them. He's starting to creep now, but he's going to get deleted by ropz. Mousesports looking so sharp with these AKs. And Furia might do the same in the second half, but they need more than 3 rounds before they get there.
Yeah, that was a nice entry from Mousesports as well. Alt goes down. He actually went underpass. Died from the stairs. So it's 2 quick entries from Mousesports. And we do see the swap from them in their T-side approach. Go for a lobby default, but the fact that Art goes down, he actually does move positions too. Gives Mousesports that window going down lower. And really not what you wanted to happen if you're Furia here. Art has money if you want to buy a glass cannon off. We might see that based on Furia's tendencies. But outside of that, with Honda being able maybe to save this weapon, Furia not looking in good shape with the economy.
Yeah.
Saves the op. Yeah, I was going to say, saves the ops. Actually, yeah, we do see 2 drops from Art there, just for the fact that Honda saves it. So obviously with that, going to be buying off of that. So it's still going to be a pretty good buy here based on the saving on the op and Art being able to drop to 2.
I think yesterday when we saw NUKE, I think Art only got like 5 frags or something.
He was getting abused on that CT side. I remember, I think he got more activated on the T side. But yeah, to your point, Dan, I think C9 did a very good job in like walling the hut and ensuring that Art wasn't very active on the map. Again, Carrigan here, drops some mini, gets a kill on Art again. He's trying his usual shenanigans. He ends up going down though, but it does create a bit more space on the map.
ropz used to make that play. sliding along the roller shutter into main very gracefully. Starting to creep now. Mousesports. So it just feels like they're in full control, even when they're just moving into a choke point. There's no challenge on ramp for now. See Vinny desperately maybe hoping for a stroke of luck with that UMP. Not the fastest fire rate in the world. Furia all in isolation, as we can see Honda getting blown up. Now Yuri's turn. Get something out of it. Aiko is busy looking below him. Oh, he's ready. They all are, really. They've come into this so alert and sharp. Again, they have the luxury of the AK-47s. But they are using them very, very well indeed. And their numbers advantage, generally speaking.
Yeah, you can make the argument here. No nades left on Furia as well. They were hoping to potentially get the 1 kill, but the argument can be made there of potentially saving. Really good positions here in the afterplan position for Mousesports. So Yuri being the sole guy alive now. He gets the 1. Ends up going down though. 9 rounds already. Favor of Mousesports on this T side. Yeah, normally when you do that mini push as well, especially when you get art there, you tend to just make the call of like, hey, let's just rush in there, right? Like, you know, the rotation is dead. But I think that Mousesports being really smart there, they see that it's art being dead, so they should account for the fact that it should be 2 more Furia members playing that B1 bomb site, so opt to not go aggressive. And again, we see Mousesports going down for lower, right? So a little bit of a change. I don't think we've seen any timeouts yet either for Furia to really talk about what's going on the server at the moment. Might see that after this round for their next weapon round. Another change of pace here for Mousesports. We see a different kind of smoke lineup here for outside. This one is used a little bit more when you want to try and fake that you're just going downstairs, or if you want to be fast, and maybe you just want to walk across with a bunch of players. But Art's ready for it though. Gets traded by Frozen. That's a little bit of a lurk position outside. The intent was to go down at least 1-2 underpass, and then to have 3 guys coming from ramp. I don't think that's going to be needed anymore. Full save on Furia. Still a little bit dangerous here if they gamble incorrectly. There we go. All it takes is the 1 dig, makes it a 3 versus 3, and Honda pushing into lobby now here as well. Getting a little bit dangerous here now for Mousesports. Always the potential of getting shot on the side, but with Case Rada going down, oh man, all hell breaks loose. Acor missing the shot there as well.
He's got the bottom also.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a ropey spot. He's going to need Frozen to help him out here. He knows a gun's been collected. 30 seconds, and he's found a superior angle. I think Honda was wondering where Frozen was flanking from. Got to be flanking from somewhere. He's seen a barrel on a gun. Yuri, but he's completely whiffed. That one was free. Oh dear, oh dear. Not what you normally see from Furia.
Even a P250 kills him at that point. The recoil from the CZ75 prevents him from doing that. You kind of think that he gets the kill after 4 bullets too, and he's like, wait a minute, he didn't die?
Oh man, that was a Bardolph play right there.
Listen, we always have the 1 Bardolph play every game, you know?
I missed those for breakfast.
This is
a time of what's called here though.
This is really rough for Furia, but at the same time, like, I think it's better to get NUKE out of the way first in the series for them, because it really is a map that's they just don't have much success here, and we've just seen Art, for example, really struggle on this map. In fact, the entire team is struggling right now on this map. But yeah, I think have this at the start of the series and later on.
I think you nailed there, Dan. I think, you know, from what we've seen, you know, Art's aggressive playstyle I think works on a lot of maps, but I think people might have figured him out a little bit on NUKE. Might be worth looking into. But we see the swap again with Mousesports play. Goes for an inner, execute a fast one at that, and Furia is just not ready for it. We see the setup that they had gone for as well. It was an outside setup. 3 guys out there. So again, Mousesports with really the upper hand here on this side in terms of calling and stuff like that. Furia always in the back seat, essentially, you know, talking about, oh, they've been doing this and stuff like that, and you make the argument there in terms of calling and in terms of where you have people of, you know, you've just been behind and in being able to hold stuff. It's always been that guessing game.
Yeah, and it's also like, you know, we have seen in the defaults, Mousesports put a lot of outside pressure like at the beginning of timings of the round, and so if you're Furia and you you got your full buyback, you want to take some initiative, you want to get the energy going in the team, you know, that's a great place to go and just try to get a kill early on. So your players are focusing on outside at the super early timings of the rounds. We can see that there's like a 3-player setup around there, but that's when Mousesports throw in the super fast play. And so, just a great call from Mousesports, really abusing the fact that Furia are looking for those opening kills outside, and this is really well called game. The executions look clean. Everybody's clearly been in a deathmatch before this one.
Yeah, and they've absolutely just, you know, grabbed Furia here completely on this side. We'll maybe make it a game here if Furia gets 4. Going to be very much of a, no matter what, it's going to be an uphill battle, but 12-3 versus 11-4. Big difference. I mean, at least we have 2 Mousesports members that's low. As I say that, Yuri actually gets 1 that has 100 HP, but gets traded. And man, what a dominant half. It's 12-3 in favor of Mousesports, heading over to that CT side. Can they finish it off, heading to map 2, or can Furia come with the comeback? We'll see. We'll find out right after the break. 12-3 in favor of Mousesports, moving over to the CT side. Yeah, you heard it right. That means that it was 12 T rounds for Mousesports.
Full control.
Sanity, yeah, and they might be continuing that trend. As I say that though, Furia hits the A-bomb site. 3-on-3 situation. It's a full-on brawl here. Bomb's not down yet, but it is an advantage for Furia here now.
Yeah, 1080p representative ropz has been dropped in heaven, which will leave Acor and very low health beamers. Got them peppering through the smoke, and there will be a headshot. They could just save their Kevlar now, assuming they're both untouched. Yeah, they can get a cheap helmet next round. Just walk to T-spawn. With something to bear in mind here. Vinny, if he's lucky enough, will get a cheap helmet as well. This is something which I don't think people focused on for the longest time, but again,
it was weird because I remember, so Maui did like he was doing some casts for and showcasing like old games, and he noticed that even for us, like we bought a lot of head armor, and I don't know if people remember a lot, but like we had so many moments where like, you know, the Glocks were even to a point overpowered, where it's like 1 bullet headshot over like across the map, you know, no accuracy. Bison was overpowered with 64 bullets. I think that we, like everyone at that time, was just worried about all these like wonky things that Valve was trying to do with making the weapons, you know, a little bit more balanced.
Glock burst fire used to be epic, man.
That's the one thing we talk about burst in general, even for FAMAS, right? Like I think that they could absolutely, like the Glock burst was also insane. I think I remember in the beginning.
It was monstrous, yeah.
Would love for the burst to come back a little bit.
Tech 9, everything. UMP was also mental. Everything.
Yeah, everything was just nuts.
I think the wildest thing though was when the revolver was introduced, not because of the stats of the revolver, but because they nerfed every other pistol at the same time to, I suppose, to encourage people to use the revolver. But that made me think about the thought process behind a decision like that. Let's make everything worse because we're introducing this new weapon, and often something new will be overpowered, be it like a weapon or a character in like an Apex or a Valorant, for example. But that was just like, it's like, was there a problem with all these weapons initially that you didn't solve, or did you just decide to make them shit in order for us to use the revolver more? It was very, very broken in the thought process, I think, behind it, let alone the stats of the gun itself.
Yeah, they're really used as like guinea pigs in some sense.
Maybe they just uploaded the wrong build. Uploaded the wrong update build.
Well, let's not forget the zero recoil AUG that we had for a while.
We had a lot of weird moments.
Yeah. Very strange testing indeed.
As we're talking about it, sure, there's no kit on Mousesports, but bomb is down 3-on-3 situation. It's already been taken enough. Over half the bomb timer is gone, so save round for Mousesports going to be keeping these 3 weapons they bought for a potential of another try here for round number 3. Obo was just announced for being released fully on complexity.
That's the shame, man.
Update to all, yeah.
Yeah, I know he's young and stuff, so no judgment whatsoever. But I think that the timing is extremely weird as well. Like if you want to stay in Counter-Strike with everything that's going on because of the global situation. But you gotta go with your heart, man. Do what feels right for you. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. Wish him the best of luck. Maybe he'll learn Portuguese and play on the Brazilian side. That would be sick if it happened. It would happen though.
If he stays in NA, I feel like he has to, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what's the right now is like the weirdest time to be like, you know what, nah. But he's young, so it's all good.
Like a stream team with tens.
Minute 15. Furia taking this very carefully.
Yeah, very slow round here considering, but also at the same time they know obviously that they had at least 2 saved weapons. Maybe a little bit worried about the potential push or even the scout here, but 50 seconds left opting for that ramp push. We know that Mousesports have 2 members here, shuts down that play, and now it kind of forced Furia to just opt for inner here. Not a good situation to be in here if you're Furia. As I say that though, Vinny managed to walk out of hut into the bomb site. And just because of that means that Mousesports essentially lose the control of inner bomb site. It's just really Acor here up in heaven. You can potentially do something about it.
Acor is someone that's nuts with every gun, even a scout. Like it doesn't matter. That's an incredible shot to hit, and it's really started things. It started the ball rolling here. Case Rato's stuck in the corner, and BMS will finish him off. Very nicely done. And again, like, who hits that scout shot? Like, you get one chance at that shot, and if he misses that shot, they don't win the round. I'm pretty certain they don't win.
Yeah, I mean, he would just hide, and then he would kill BMS that came out of T vent, right? And then that spot that you had on the CT vent would be much stronger. So yeah, you can account. I mean, that wasn't looking nice. It was looking very good for Mousesports right before Vinny got the kill on the inner bomb side, but then they had full control. So Acor hitting that shot, I think that was really what made it possible for Mousesports to win that round after they got the plant down. But yeah, I mean, that's worst case. Really not what you want to see for Furia here. We talk about potential comeback. Losing the 3rd round with a few saved armors and weapons. Not ideal.
I like the setup with Carrigan and ropz as well, the UMP and the Deagle. Carrigan actually played so close that he wasn't aiming for headshots. He was just aiming for, like, torso shots. Because you can shoot the Deagle really fast at that range and still hit the target. It probably feels more guaranteed to him, so that's kind of an interesting notes. And it feels like Mousesports are really causing a lot of problems already, even on these save rounds that they're always making it look really competitive. And obviously they won that situation, so now Furia are in of course, like, awful spot, spending every last bit of their money. You feel like this might be their best. This is maybe the best last chance of getting things going now. Acor on the outside, he doesn't miss. He doesn't miss shots.
What does Betway know that we don't? The odds now, maybe they make sense after all. How strong they were in favor of Mousesports. Furia have been MIA in this first game.
We have like a prediction of the odds, how often they've been right. Maybe they're putting us to shame here. To your point, James, maybe they know something we don't. Oh man, can't believe Acor doesn't go down. They're 13 HP left. Again, to your point here, Dan, like, does he even miss? He does miss the one shot there, though.
But it's just a fake. He's missing on purpose, just to, like, make them think that he might miss.
He's playing the long game, the long con.
He's just playing with his food.
Have you ever seen one of those animal shows where, like, a baby deer thinks that this lion is its dad or something? or it's just playing, the lion's just playing with the deer, and deer's like, "Ooh, look, I'm Bambi."
I have not seen that. Is there like a sad ending to this story?
I don't think they caught the endings. I think one was like, "I will adopt you for a while," when I'm feeling hungry, could order delivery or just eat you instead. Yuri may be able to turn things around here. 1 versus 2, made 1-on-1. Where is the last player, ropz? He's downstairs with the AWP, the fake plant. Where does he plant it for? He's going for heaven, Yuri, which is the right choice because ropz is coming up from the ladder. It's going to have to go for the quick scope here, quick jump peek, and I don't know if Yuri saw him or not. Doesn't look like he did. ropz starting to creep in, and I thought this round was done for. I think maybe we all did, with the advantages Mousesports had, but Furia were able to turn things around and keep themselves alive in NUKE. Again, they don't really have many opportunities left considering Mousesports' the score, but they've definitely given themselves an extra chance.
Yeah, and even there, like, as you pointed out, James, I think Mousesports definitely the upper hand. I think Yuri with a 4-kill that round, really the one that's keeping Furia in this game. And that was a really good round to win here as well. We kind of note that Mousesports forced on a save. Never discount these deagles though.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, you know, Mousesports have already proven problematic and to be problematic in these rounds. I actually like the Yuri has his webcam set up so we could see some of the mouse movement there. That's actually quite fun. Everyone loves a good mouse cam.
Yeah, not many people are using that.
Oh, Dan, you'll enjoy this. I started resting my arm on a table yesterday.
Oh, finally.
It only took me 20 years. I mean, in fairness, I couldn't.
James.
When I you know lived at my mum's place, there wasn't the space to rest the arm on the table. I had flusha problems. So
Well, your wrist will. Thank you, James.
yeah, wrist on the end of the table is inconsistent. But I actually found I found a video from a guy who used to play CSGO, plays Apex, who has exactly the same sends as me, and used to have exactly the same like wrist on the end of the table, but just put his arm up the mouse pad essentially.
Which player was it?
I'll link you later. I don't know his name.
Okay.
But not like a massively famous dude, I don't think.
Yeah.
But
I think it gives a lot of advantages because you can make things more consistent, and also I think it's just a lot better because it allows you to incorporate more arm if you want to, and it also allows your shoulder to be more relaxed if you're sitting correctly.
it was so good because like the main thing was that told it to me was that, I mean, I knew it was better anyway, right? I've spoken to you and Rambo about it before, but he showed the perfect example of like, if you're just off someone's head with the crosshair, because I've got pretty high sends, it's very hard to make that slight adjustment if your wrist is on the end of the table, versus if your arm's on, then it's immediately infinitely easier. And I was really struggling with that recently, which is partly why I lost 300 elo in about a week. So just need to keep doing the same thing, and I'll actually have a consistent form for once.
I remember when I first switched to doing that, it was maybe like 2010 or something, 8, 9. And I remember it felt quite weird for a while. It took me some getting used to.
Have you still got the same sends as me?
No, it's much faster than now.
Oh, you went up again?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
How
like
do you-
26 centimeters, 360.
What's your EDPI?
Well, so I can just tell you the sense would be, what DPI do you use?
I'm at 800 1.5.
Okay, so my sense would be then 2 in CS.
Oh, gone up once more. Well, let's see if Furia's score can keep going up as Mousesports are back on the bye. Acor's got an AWP, the rest with the M4A4s. No silenced M4s today. Crouch peek from Art, which he will regret because Acor was ready for it straight in the face. Things go from bad to worse for Furia. We can see Yuri creeping towards main Acor on the outside. Just holding T-Red for now. But he's starting to wonder. Smoke is up, sees the legs, swipes the chest. And only 3 remain for Furia.
Yeah, and they're just forced to hit inner here on bad timing as well. Kerrigan in a really good spot. Yeah, that's worst case from Furia. Still have a good amount of money. Obviously, we'll go for the buy here for the win. We're not playing for ties here, you know. That's lame.
That is lame. You're right. Yeah, it's looking like there's a Strong possibility that Furia will struggle to find their way back into this one. Mousesports on a goodbye. They don't have much money though, so opportunity here for both teams, but this feels like it could be a 2 for whoever wins it. Acor there whiffing, but does spot the presence, gets a lot of information hit. They hear the dropping. So, however, they are out of position to deal with this. So that is some advantage in position for Furia, and maybe they can convert that into a bomb plant. With that said, the bomb is not there on the lower side. It has to make its way through a ramp first, I believe. So this could start to get a little bit weird because Cadian on the flank, Honda takes him down. That's huge. Do they go upper now? Now that they've closed the rotation down towards lower,
this has always been Furia's strengths, but normally we see them more with the lobby defaults and just like abusing inner, and then with the vent drops. We didn't see that a lot though, but nice to see Furia back to their old ways. Acor though, I mean,
amazing.
What a clear, like, Jesus Christ. Normally you would see maybe other players there just clearing it in a no-scope fashion. But Acor is pretty good at this game, so.
I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Oh, Bemis just saw a T lurking and squeaky at the end, and Acor's creating some space for himself. Got a warning sign of a closed door behind him, but the door's been opened by Art. The quick scope, the no scope, in fact, will be missed. And Art's got an AWP, but has he got time? 1 versus 2? No, he's going to keep the AK-47 out instead. Got a multi-frag, of course. 18 seconds. Surely there's no way to do it. Trying to pre-fire off a ladder. Does he go to save the AWP now? Suggesting he's going away to save pre-fire. Nobody's there. So we'll get the AWP at least. We'll see if he gets to keep it. Mousesports could do with saving their money, to be honest, as opposed to chasing him down.
Yeah, I think they feel pretty comfortable as well about their CT side. And especially saving an AWP on a map like T or on Nuke on T side is... Obviously, damage can be done here, but I think it's a tall ask for Art. See the same sequence again here from Acor. Clearing short for lower, killing Case Rado. 15-7 map point. This is Mousesports map pick, heading into Inferno next.
Oops.
Ooh.
I love that he went for the aggression, even though you know it's good. You got to play the confident play.
Oh, Art goes down as well outside to ropz. The orb can't be collected, but maintaining integrity of numbers will be important. As we can see, ropz is going to get challenged there on ramp. He's on the EWP. That's a good connection, and there's no one to really trade that. That would have been an excellent moment for a swing from Honda, but he just wasn't quite ready to do that. And now they're kind of stuck. Oh, the timing here from Frozen looks perfect as well. And just like that, it seems like 1 by 1, Furia will be picked apart as Mousesports sprint to the finish here on map 1.
Yeah, and it comes off of a very dominant T side from Mousesports. Really had the upper hand the whole half, and that's going to be at 16-7 on the hands of Mousesports there on their map pick. Very, very dominant fashion there.